Day 36 of the Barcelona World Race, and leaders Cheminée Pujolar, together with second place Neutrogena, are back into racing mode after the strong low-pressure cyclonic system in their path has tracked ahead and to the south. Cheminée Pujolar's tactic of reducing sail area and deliberately slowing the boat has certainly allowed them to avoid the worst of the conditions, with the team reporting not much more than 40 to 45 knots, albeit with a very fierce sea state. However, the conservative approach did allow Neutrogena to close to around 170-180 miles of them. Gaius Centros Auditivos and Renault Captur both locked into a busy period of jibes along the Antarctic exclusion zone. Now they are in the same system of westerlies. We Are Water enjoying easier reaching conditions. However, One Planet, One Ocean and Spirit of Hungary now facing southeasterly headwinds and a 2 to 4 metre swell, likely to make life very uncomfortable for the next 2 days. Looking at the position report for Wednesday, February the 4th, Cheminée Pujolar leading Neutrogena by 187 miles now. Cheminée Pujolar having really picked up the pace, averaging over 17 knots over the course of this morning since rehoisting headsails and getting back into race mode after the passing of this front. Gaius Centros Auditivos passing the Kagula lines this morning and also making good pace, averaging over 16 knots. Whereas Renault Captur continued to lose distance on them slightly, around 300 miles behind the third placed boat now and sailing at 11 to 12 knots. We Are Water covering 330 miles in the past 24 hours in solid reaching conditions, but One Planet, One Ocean and Spirit of Hungary have both seen their boat speeds come down to 10 to 12 knots in headwinds with confused seas.
The sea is getting better. We had the sea on the side this morning. It was very difficult, but now it comes slowly from behind, and it's getting better. We have cloudy sky with some blue parts, then it's okay, and we are happy to find better condition now. We didn't see much about tropical low because we break our speed a lot to let the center of the low pass some. Then we had maybe 45 knots of wind, very big swell, and but now the low and it's heading south, and it's not a danger anymore. Already very bad condition on the path, but it's the first time that the timing was so bad that we had to break our speed.
Earlier we spoke to Bernard Stamm and co-skipper Jean Le Cam on board race leaders Cheminée Pujolar. Both, unsurprisingly, sounded tireder than previously, having gone through the roughest conditions of the Barcelona World Race so far, with around 45 knots as the low-pressure system passed ahead of them. Stamm commented that in all his many years of ocean racing, he has never previously had to deliberately slow a boat down like this. His equally experienced co-skipper echoed the sentiments, saying that he knew it was the right decision when they saw weather files forecasting winds of over 60 knots. So he and Le Cam spent around 24 hours sailing with 3 reefs in the main and no headsail, reducing their boat speed to just 10 or 11 knots in order to avoid the centre of the low. However, the duo have since rehoisted a small jib and reported that they were sailing as normal once again. Stamm explained that the sea state was improving, with cross seas shifting to a more stable wave pattern from astern, and although they are expecting 35 to 40 knots, conditions are becoming much more standard Southern Ocean fare, and they hope to carry these solid winds east for the next couple of days. They are currently making around 17 knots, heading southeast in southwesterlies, and even have the odd spot of blue sky. This first boat is currently forecast to arrive at Cape Lewin on Friday morning, with second place Neutrogena around 12 hours behind.
Well, we see the low from the 2 days to 3 days before when it has been building here in Western Australia. So what we do with all the information we have about the grid files and the weather and all this information, we know it's going to just cross our track. So we were aware of these conditions. So what you did to slow down because to avoid the worst part of the load, the big waves and the windy. We can get a lot of wind around us. I think maximum wind we see with 35, and the waves they were not really big. We slow, we slowed a little bit. Always you are aware because you don't know if the track is going to be. You can change the track, but we were very conservative in terms of we knew Terminez, he was 180 miles in front of us, and he gets in worse conditions. And we were just behind Whiting and pushing a little bit harder to close the gap. We tried to cut some miles in the last 24 hours when we have to slow down because it's low. We did it. We cut some miles. I think he's going to come back and in a race mode, so I don't think we're going to cut more miles at the moment. We will get the same conditions for the next 2 or 3 days, so and the speeds are very similar. So I don't think we can cut more miles at the moment. We have to wait or a moment later on. When you have these conditions, and obviously you get more stress or more anxious, because you have to take care of the boat, to take care of yourself. It's a lot of things going on. You have to prepare the boat. You have to find the right place to put the boat in terms of not too close to the low, the sea state. So you always have a little bit of concerning of where is the best place to stay, how much you can push the boat on these conditions, if you have to slow down or not. You have a lot of that before that. So it's not nervous. It's like probably anxious or concerning about the situation, but not nervous.
We also caught up with Guillermo Altadil. Guillermo, together with Jose Munoz on Neutrogena, has also had a punishing past couple of days. Although wind speeds rarely increased above 35 knots for this pair, they too were suffering potentially boat-breaking sea states and very gusty conditions. Guillermo explained that they had been tracking the movement of the low-pressure system closely, particularly aware that it may have changed course. However, as the second-place boat, Guillermo explained that for Neutrogena, it was also a case of trying to maximise the opportunity of Cheminée-Pujola slowing down, and to try and close the gap between them and the leaders, pushing hard even in the rough conditions. They've reduced the deficit by around 70 miles over the past 2 days. Guillermo, who is taking part in his 10th round the world race, says that even in times of extreme weather he does not get nervous at sea, but is sometimes more anxious because there are a lot of practical aspects and navigational questions to think about and to preserve the boat. One thing that few sailors ever get used to about sailing in the deep south is the extreme, all-pervading cold. We take a look at how the skippers can try to stay warm and dry on board.
Hola amigos y seguidores del We Are Water. Estábamos navegando por la zona esta de los 40 rugientes, justo bordeando la Antártida. Ahí hace mucho frío. Cali, tiemblo ya de pensarlo.
Sí, la verdad es que el recuerdo de navegar estos 2 meses navegando por el Gran Sur es frío. Frío que te cala, una humedad constante dentro del barco, no solo fuera, sino dentro estamos bajo cero. Todo está siempre mojado y la única manera de protegerse es llevar un muy buen equipo para mantener el cuerpo seco. Sí, se trata de llevar capas, una primera capa térmica que no te la quitas nunca, te metes dentro del saco con ella, una capa intermedia que es tu confort. Este traje es resistente al agua y a su vez con este forro polar te mantiene cálido.
Me imagino que esto es un poquito como la chimenea que te, ¿no?, que te da confort.
Exacto. Dentro del barco siempre vas con él y lo que haces si tienes que salir fuera y las condiciones son duras, ponerte finalmente la gran protección que representa el traje de agua propiamente dicho, oceánico, muy alto, hermético, que te permite pues aguantar maniobras fuera en cubierta, que te pasen olas por encima. Te quedarías normalmente calado con este traje, consigues mantener tu cuerpo seco. Si mojas la capa térmica no la vas a poder secar y no tenemos mudas para reponer como quisiéramos. Por lo tanto, fundamental que no nos falle esta protección para mantener un poco la energía.
Porque dentro del barco no hay calefacción, una humedad casi del 100% y temperatura cercana a los 0 grados.
Bueno, por debajo de 0 grados muchas veces, y pensar que con la humedad, con los rociones, el viento, la sensación de frío es de -20, -30.
We see for the two leaders here that they're having above the same kind of system. The wind decreased from yesterday. They still have 25 to 30 knots. Pujula is experiencing southwest wind and doing good boat speed, around 20 knots of boat speed. They're going to head down to the southeast and probably have to jibe towards the Cap Lewin. A bit more north, a bit less pressure in Neutrogena. They're having about 20 knots of wind and having 50 knots of boat speed. We can see here the two other boats, Gaes and Renault Capture. They're having downwind reaching wind, have a lot of jibe to do next to the exclusion zone. The north of those boats, we can see a high pressure, but there's a good band of wind coming from west in between this high pressure and the exclusion zone. So around the 40s, they will have to good pressure, 20 to 25 knots of downwind. Here we have We Are Water. They had good speed during the night, around 50 knots of boat speed. Full downwind today and for the next day, all the way up to the Cap Lewin. We can see here One Planet, One Ocean and Spirit of Hungary. Those two boats are sailing upwind and they're having big seas, around 2 to 4 meters of waves. And the big low pressure here creates a southeast wind and with a quite moderate sea, and it's going to be for today and probably the next coming days. So strong conditions and a lot of movements on the boat.